Well, for my Sabbath walk this week, I'm basically going where I left off last week. Basically, I walked up to the corner last week, and now I'm at the corner. Just panning around a little bit, trying not to go too fast. Okay, there's a farm on the corner here. These people are retired. Their son actually takes care of the farm, and he doesn't live here. But it's a nice farming area. Just gonna pan across the field here. This has been hay as long as we've been here. Actually, what I've read, the Tantramar area was known for its hay crop ever since they did agricultural work here. So I'm just moseying along. They planted some spruce trees here to grow up into a bit of a screen. They have a nice grove of trees up ahead. That really big one right closest is a sugar maple. There's a number of sugar maples in that clump of trees, which is funny because sugar maple is not growing in the bush back where I live at all. That's also known as hard maple. Good turning wood, good stuff. Of course, it's not on my property, and I technically go for it. I get permissions from them on other stuff anyway, as you'll see later on in the video here. Also hiding in this is a red oak tree. I don't know if there's more than one or not. I just know that there's one. You can kind of see leaves sticking out on the one side here, which is another tree that's not growing back in the bush where I am. There's one on the road further up. I'm making my way along here. You can see the really dark pine trees in the distance. Those are virtually all white spruce. There are a few trees sticking way out that are shaped different. Those would be white pine, which I don't find back in the bush where I am, but there are quite a number of them around the area. They grow bigger and longer than most of these other trees. They don't look as healthy though. I can see some of the oak here. I don't know if I had a good look at some of the leaves here. Get right close. They're a little bit bug eaten. Get a look at them up here. The shade too much. There we go. Can kind of see that. Oh, you see the sugar maple leaves here. Undergrowth is a lot of cherry again. There's a certain amount of quaking aspen and birch growing in there as well. Since I harvest my own wood, I find it very important for me to know all the trees in the area. That way when I have permission or one gets sick and comes down, I know what kind of wood I'm getting before I ever go out there. There is one other tree on the end of us, which I know of it as the only example in the area. There's a cedar tree growing here. And I have not seen any other cedar trees in the entire area. We're right on the end here. Take a look at the leaves on it. Flat, scaly leaves. It's kind of neat to see. But yeah, this is the only one in the whole area that I even know of. I have not seen any others. Not in the bush, not anywhere. And of course down by the river there where we're walking to, you can see the distinctive shape, umbrella shape of a elm tree. There's quite a few of them right down by the water. In fact, the dead elm that I'm getting my wood from for making those 2 bud vases I made during the week came from down there. I have permissions on that dead tree. The people who run the farm here gave me permission to cut all of it, which is a lot of wood. I'm really fascinated by the interlocking grain on that. Elm has probably got the strongest interlocking grain that I've ever seen on anything. The black willow apparently gets that way a little bit too, but it's not as pronounced. The tamarack, which I'm told is a really tough tree, had cross grain. I've looked further and studied further, and it doesn't talk about that. It talks about straight grain, but it spirals up. So I don't know. The tree's kind of brittle, but we'll see, because we have tamarack, and we'll probably turn a little bit of that. Probably not a lot, because according to the articles I've read, it has a very high silica content. Has a lot of resin. It's very hard on your tools. It takes the edge off them pretty quickly. And since I don't like my tools to suffer too much, because I don't like having to pay the money to replace them, because I'm not that wealthy, I probably won't make very much of that. You know, my understanding is that the figuring is quite distinctive on that tree, so it'll be visually worth it if I can get it to turn. I'm told the wood is brittle too, which means it's going to be kind of brutal to turn on the lathe. It means tools have to be very sharp. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be an easy one to do. It certainly won't be something I do with any regularity. Walking down here, the tree lines around I think you see the dark, tall trees sticking out above over there are all white pine that I know of. There is red pine in the area, but I've looked at the bark on them and it doesn't look like red pine to me. It all looks like white pine, which is a commercially valuable lumber. And I'll likely get some of that eventually. I'm pretty sure they chopped up some of that on a field over here where they harvested the wood. There's some left over. I don't know if I can identify white pine specifically laying there. If I do, though, I will try it out. Take a look. A lot of purple flowers growing there, with cattails growing in the background. Cattails were a very important foodstuff for the natives. I'm kind of interested in tasting the corms, the root thing that grows underground. Apparently it's a substitute for potatoes. Doesn't taste like potatoes. The green shoots apparently taste like cucumber in the spring. It's kind of nice. There's my dead tree. I cut a major branch off the right side of that, and that's what I'm using right now. The wood keeps from rotting better if you leave it standing, so I'm going to cut it down as I need it, because if I cut it down all at once I got to keep it dry, and I don't have a great deal of storage space. The other smaller trees around here are elm as well. Not sure what killed this one. It might have been Dutch elm disease. I don't know how long it's been standing there. It's been dead for at least a decade, because it looked like this when we moved into the area. And of course you got a better example up ahead. A few more over here. You can see them. And I'll run this until I actually get to the water. Double check my time. I don't want this to go too long either. Oh, I've got plenty of time. I'm doing good. I thought I'd be over 10 minutes when I got here, and I'm not. About 9. So this is the upper Tantramar River. It flows a little more spectacularly when spring runoff is going through here. Except for the alders, it would be navigable by canoe. I'm walking through here, noting whatever. A lot of dead branches in the bottom here clogging it up. Good big storm will wash that right back out again. Unless, of course, some beavers come and reinforce it and flood the whole upper area. But the local farmer will deal with that in a hurry if that happens. Because he won't like it. There's a lot of wild roses growing around here, especially around that dead tree. The thorns scratch at you pretty bad. Not a job I'd want to do in shorts. A tree there getting absolutely tent caterpillar to death. I have dealt with some of that here. For a while there, the cherry's very prone to that. I went in and cut off the tent caterpillar branches along our road and burned them. Try to control that a little bit. There's something else into the alders right now. But yeah, we're on the floodplain for the river here. And I think I'm going to call this a walk. This is about as far as I usually walk when I'm doing a recreational walk. It's about 20 minutes to get out here if you're taking your time. And I usually walk several other directions from here as well. So we're not done videos. Next week they have the sidewalk chalk art festival next week in Sackville, so that's what the video is going to be about. Not going to do the same thing this coming week. So if you like that kind of thing, stay tuned, because Wesley and I are a little more prepared for it this time. But as always, don't forget, time flies whether you're having fun or not, and you have yourself a good day.